To the 31st Annual Symposium on Telescope Science, a joint meeting with the Society for Astronomical Sciences and the American Association of Variable Star Observers. And as we had in 2009, a really great turnout. And I want to thank you all for coming. And as the person who worked through the proceedings, I just want to say that I was utterly amazed at the quality of the papers and the number that came in. So everybody who's been saying nice things about the proceedings, make sure you also thank the authors because they provided the material that fills the pages. So we'll get going right away, and I'll introduce the executive director. Is that correct?
Just director.
Just director. Okay, you get promoted on Friday, right? The director of the AAVSO, Arne Henden.
Okay. In theory, yep, it does work. All right. I would like to give my welcome as well to everyone here for the second of our joint AAVSO SAS meetings. The first one was just a great meeting, and I can see by the size of the audience, I think this one's going to be equally as interesting. For those of you who do not know the AAVSO, we are an organization that is worldwide. We have about 1,000 members, a little bit more than 1,000 right now, in 45 countries. And we've been around since 1911, so we celebrated our 100th anniversary last fall. And as part of the joint meeting on Wednesday evening, we will have a membership meeting. So that is this evening, unless my watch is wrong. And everyone is invited. This is not just purely AAVSO members. So that you can see what the organization is about, and I will give a report there showing some of the activities of the organization, and it might be something of interest to most everybody. And that starts at 7 o'clock. It sort of ends at 9 o'clock. We will have my presentation and the treasurer's report and things like that until about 8. And then after that will be a question and answer period between myself, the council members for our organization who are here, and anyone out in either this audience or we'll be webcasting it with any kind of luck. And there'll be some questions from the outside community as well. So to get started here, it will be in this room, right? And I think we still have a couple spare seats, but not very many. It's amazing. So like I said, I am the director. I also am the operator of Hawkins Pond Observatory, thanks to Mario Mata. And that is the largest observatory in New Hampshire. But it is 0.2 of an inch smaller than Mario's telescope in Gloucester. He keeps reminding me of this. But that's where I intend to retire when I do retire. And there are two other staff members who are here today. The first of these is Aaron Price. He is the assistant director of the AAVSO for another month. And after the end of June, he will be going to the Chicago Museum of Science and Industry, where he will assume a position of manager of research and evaluation. And so after he got his PhD last year, we were happy to have him around as long as he stayed, but I think this is a real career advancement for him, and so we're really proud of Aaron and wish him luck in his new career. And he also gave a really great seminar workshop yesterday on VFOT. The other person who's here from staff is Rebecca Turner. She will become the operations director as of the time that Aaron leaves. And she is also our sponsored research officer for our various grants, and she's our meetings coordinator. She didn't have a whole lot to do on this particular meeting because SAS is so well organized, but she does a lot on other meetings, believe me. So at this time, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Lee because I think he has a few other people that he wants to mention. So you get that one. Yeah, both of those. This one too.
Stand by.
Hold, put it in your pocket. Okay, good.
And how do I move the slide?
This button right here, this first button.
Okay.
One on the bottom right here.
And this is the slide, huh?
There you go.
Oh, okay. I want to thank all of you for coming. This is, as Arne said, a joint meeting between AAVSO and SAS. I'm going to make this short so we'll be back on time. The first talk, I think, is at 9 o'clock, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots of jokes.
The committee has increased.
Does Bob Buckheim always wear a tie when he observes?
Yes, and he wears that blue sweater. The committee started out with only 2 people years ago, and now we're all the way up to 10. And so I'm going to introduce all of them. And Arne was supposed to tell you to turn your cell phones off. Also, you want to make sure that you have registered with the 3 registration committee back against the wall over there. Make sure that you received your proceedings. This is getting larger too, as the committee is. There's 265 pages in here now. On the Roman numeral 3, I forget what page it is the agenda that we're going to follow. Also, you want to make sure that you picked up your name tag. And in the back of your name tag, if you signed up for the banquet, your meal ticket will be on your name tag. And if you haven't signed up for the banquet, they still have a few tickets available if you want to go to the banquet. So the first person on the committee I'm going to introduce is Bob Buckheim. He's also a member of OCA, which is Orange County Astronomy Association. Yeah.
More importantly, AAVSO.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's next. Thanks, you're helping me out. And he also received the G. Bruce Blair Award, and you have to ask him what that is later on. He's also, Bob is helping Dale with they create the newsletter. And if you'll notice, that newsletter now is 10 times bigger than what it was before. With the 2 of them working on it, it's really quite a piece of literature now. This is Jerry Foote. Jerry Foote is on the speaker committee or program committee, same thing. And Jerry is, his main job is setting up the workshops. And as you notice, those of you that went to the 2 workshops yesterday, he's done an outstanding job. Of course, he's getting help from a lot of people like Arne and everybody. This is out of sequence. Dale Mayes. Dale hasn't been to the last 3 conferences because of family activities, but he's here at this conference, so say hello to him again. Dale is, like I said, he works with Bob Buckheim on the newsletter. And we had a committee meeting, and Dale hadn't attended one for 3 years. We were talking about monetary activity, and Dale said, hey guys, not to worry. Money grows on trees. Wait a minute, we all looked at him, and he said, that's why banks have branches. They had to explain that one to me. The other thing I'd like to mention is Dale is looking, this image here, he's looking through a 3.5 meter telescope at Kitt Peak with an eyepiece. And he could see the rings on Saturn, right? Yeah. Okay. Barely. By the way, that ladder was his. Then we have Brian Warner, who Brian is really our program committee chair. He runs, as you're going to see, he sets up the agenda, and he's also the proceedings editor. And we had to enlist him as a webmaster. I think it's temporary, isn't it, Brian?
Temporary permanent?
Yeah, temporary permanent. Anyway, it's a dwarf website. We get into the registration committee. There's 3 people on the registration committee: Cindy Foote and Margaret Miller, Lorraine Moon. And this registration committee, it's probably the most important thing that's taking place. If they don't have it organized, it would just be a mess like it used to be before we had the registration committee. We have Robert Stevens, who you're all aware of. We're incorporated nonprofit in the state of California, and it requires 3 officers: a president, a treasurer, and a secretary. Is that right? Yeah. So Bob is our treasurer. He's also a CPA, and he thinks Dale is out of his mind. Money does not grow on trees with Bob. We have Robert Gill, who runs our audiovisual, and he has been doing that for quite a few years, does an outstanding job. He is our secretary. Have you ever been secretary? You don't do anything. It's a requirement by law, as I told you. And here's another guy that doesn't do anything. I'm SAS. I wish I knew what that stood for. Anyway, I'm president, and gee, they got me as co-chairman. Okay. That telescope that you see there, it goes way back 1973. It's 22-inch. Celestron made 3 of them. And Gordon McLean bought this. It was sitting, I used it for 22 years. Gordon and his wife have passed on. And so the family, they're not astronomers. They don't even know how to spell it. They tried to donate it to a private school in Reno. And I couldn't talk. I was trying to do the sales job, and I could not talk him into taking his telescope. Free, installed. So when UNR, the University of Nevada, Reno, heard about it, they grabbed it right away. So that's where it's sitting now. It is still, we had Jerry Foote upgraded. It is still manually operated because they haven't had time, the physics department. And the only guy that knows how to run it manually is me, so I get calls all the time to spend an evening. I fall asleep now at my age. I want to mention the sponsors. We have Apogee, and the sponsors are all set up in the back room here. We have Sky and Telescope. We have SBIG, Santa Barbara Instrument Group, Software Bisque, Planewave, and DC Dreams. At the end of today, we're having an infomercial, as you're all aware of, which seems to work pretty good. We give each sponsor 15 minutes to get up and talk about whatever they want to. The only other thing I need to say is if you have any questions or suggestions as to how we're running this conference each year, or if you have any special needs, just let anybody on the committee know, and we'll take care of it. I suppose I have to tell a joke before I leave. People are asking in committee again, how old is Lee? When I was born, the Dead Sea was only sick. So don't ask anymore. I will tell one joke because I'm not going to get to tell it again. It's not a joke. My wife is 8 years younger than I am. And she asked me out of the clear, she said, if I die before you, are you going to remarry? And I said, yes. She said, are you going to let her live in this house? I said, yes. You going to let her drive my car? Yes. You going to play golf with her? Yes. Are you going to let her use my clubs? No. Why not? Because she's left-handed. You're all laughing. I didn't laugh. I had to sleep in the garage that night.